Now let's look into the example of revaluation of property, plant and equipment and its respective journal entries. For the first time, when we revalue the asset, we have a revaluation gain of, suppose, $10,000. It's a gain. So in respect of this, the accounting treatment would be property, plant and equipment account debit by $10,000 to OCI $10,000, which means subsequently the OCI will be transferred to revaluation reserve by $10,000. So this is the case of initial gains or initial revaluation. The second point would be in the initial chapter itself would be a revaluation loss of $10,000. In this case, the entry would be loss on revaluation of PP&E account debited by 10,000 to property, plant and equipment 10,000. We've reduced the value of PP&E by 10,000 and the loss on revaluation will go to the P&L. P&L account debited. Basically a statement. I'm closing the account or transferring to the P&L. P&L account debited to loss on a rev by $10,000. This is the case of initial revaluation. Now let's move on to subsequent revaluation of we had a gain of suppose $10,000 and subsequently we had a loss of $20,000. Now the PP&E will be decreased by $20,000. So first we will adjust the difference that it is there in the PP&E, there in the OCI to the tune of 10,000. We debited OCI, which means we will set off the loss first from the OCI. Then we'll transfer the unadjusted difference to the P&L. That is basically the loss on a revaluation, and two, it will go to the PP&E by $20,000. Similarly, if there is a if there is a upward revaluation of property, plant and equipment, and again we had an upward revaluation, so this entry will prevail, which means PP&E account debited by the revaluation gain to OCI. Now let's move on and discuss the fourth scenario. Suppose when we make the subsequent revaluation, we had a gain of $30,000. So initially we had a loss of $10,000 and when we subsequently revalued it, we have a gain of $30,000. Now how to account for this transaction? First, we will upward revalue the PP&E by $30,000. We will set off the loss that is lying in the P&L against the property, plant and equipment, that is $10,000, and all the unadjusted gain will go to the OCI by $20,000. So this is a summary of the journal entries that we can expect in respect of a revaluation of property, plant and equipment.